Are you concerned about identity theft? Well, you might want to get concerned because, according to the LA Times, hackers may have stolen the social security numbers of every American. Um, and this happened 4 months ago. So, yeah, that's a little bit concerning. The breach consisted of there it is, the full name, address, date of birth, social security numbers, and phone number, along with alternate names and birth dates, according to the hacking group Felice. I think Felice was a hacking group. And really, for credit card applications or other things like that, that's exactly what you need are those things. So they can start. So if identity thieves want to start raking in the dough, all they need to do is get a few dozen names and then start filling out credit card applications and getting a bunch of credit cards in your name, or maybe get a loan on the property that you own. That would be a bad thing, to get a second or third or fourth mortgage on your property. The leak purports to provide much of the information that banks, insurance companies, and service providers seek when creating accounts and when granting a request to change the password on existing accounts. So your email might not be protected, your bank account might not be protected. That's a bit concerning. A few key pieces of information may be missing from the hacker's haul. One is email addresses, which many people use to log into services. Another is driver's license or passport photos, which some governmental agencies rely on to verify identities. So that's good, at least, because a lot of companies, they won't change your password on many things without the email address that's associated with the account. So that's a bit of security in there. Still, Murray of PIRG said that bad actors could do all kinds of things with the leaked information. The most worrisome probably being to try to take over someone's accounts, including their associated banks, investments, insurance, policies, and email. With your name, social security number, date of birth, and mailing address, a fraudster could create fake accounts with your name or try to talk someone into resetting the password on one of your existing accounts. For somebody who is really suave at it, Murray said, the possibilities are really endless. It's also possible that criminals could use information from previous data breaches to add email addresses to the data from the reported national public data leak. Armed with that, Murray said, you can do all kinds of chaos, commit all kinds of crimes, steal all kinds of money. So there are a few different companies out there that can protect you from certain things like that. They monitor your bank accounts, they monitor your credit rating, things like that. that would help. And I think they offer identity theft insurance if you do get hacked, because their job is to make sure you don't. So if you do get identity thieved, stolen, if your identity is taken or your accounts are taken over, then these companies like LifeLock, I think, is one of them. I don't know. There's quite a few that can help with that, and you can always just call Experian and ask them to look at it. You can freeze your credit cards for a little while. That is an option. And a lot of credit card companies actually have apps that you can keep your credit cards frozen until you want them unfrozen, and then you can just unfreeze them on the app and then use them and then freeze them again. That way they can't utilize any credit card information like that without it being unfrozen. So that's nice. Of course, have strong passwords that are different for every service and changed periodically helps, which almost no one does that. And a lot of people just have the same password for everything. That's incredibly dangerous. Changing passwords, you don't have to do that unless your password is saved on some type of service that has been breached, and then you really need to at that point. And so that's why it's a good idea to periodically change them every 6 months, every year, just in case. But if your password is never compromised, you never have to worry about changing it. You just don't know if or when it does get compromised. So changing it's not a bad idea. Beyond that, experts say it's extremely important to sign up for two-factor authentication. That actually is a tremendously good idea. If you have a two-factor authentication set up on your phone, where if a company, if someone is trying to log into your account, that the two-factor authentication will kick in and send a link to, or send a text to your phone, call your phone, send something to your email, or if you have a two-factor authentication app on your phone, then you can use the app to unlock your account. So there's a few different ways two-factor authentication works, but any way of doing it, using two-factor authentication is a great idea to protect you from people accessing your accounts that shouldn't be. Yes, scammers can hijack your phone number through techniques called SIM swap and port-out fraud, causing more identity theft nightmares. To protect you on that front, AT&T allows you to create a passcode restricting access to your account. T-Mobile offers optional protection against your phone number being switched to a new device, and Verizon automatically blocks SIM swaps by shutting down both the new device and the existing one until the account holder weighs in with the existing device, which is possibly slightly annoying if you're trying to swap to a new phone, but it's just you just need to call Verizon and let them know that you have done that, and then they'll unlock it for you. So it's not that big a deal. And it's a great security feature. Your worst enemy might be you. So really, one of the easiest ways, or one of the weakest portions of security, is people. So many people are willingly giving over their birth dates, their phone number, their email address. Thankfully, not their social security number very often, unless you're doing an application, because quite often you don't need to give your social security number. It's just on there as another field to fill out. As much or more than hacked data, scammers also rely on people to reveal sensitive information about themselves. It's called social engineering, is when scammers contact you and get you to give up sensitive information. If you give up your password, that is amazing for them. And that's why quite often whenever you're calling a site or calling a company or going on their website, there'll be a little blurb saying, "We will never ask you for your password," because scammers will. Which is exactly what they say there. Scammers have coaxed victims into providing their account numbers, logins, and passwords by posing as bank security officers trying to stop an unauthorized withdrawal, or some other supposedly urgent threat. And I've talked to a lot of people just here in Malad that have had that issue specifically, that they give over some sensitive information, and or like one that I've heard of quite a few times is they get an email saying you've been charged for this antivirus software, and the person says, well, I shouldn't. I'll just call this number that's on this email. And they're like, oh, sorry about that. Looks like you were overcharged. Let's get your bank account information so we can do a charge back on that. And by providing your bank account information and things like that to the scammers, all of a sudden they can start pulling money from your account, or they get you so flustered that you actually go to the bank yourself and withdraw the money to give to them, which sounds ridiculous, but these scammers are very, very good at what they do. I'm not saying what they do is good. I'm saying what they're good at doing it. Yeah, just like what it says here. It's a good rule of thumb to never click on a link or call a phone number in an unsolicited text or email. If the message warns about fraud on your account and you don't want to simply ignore it, look up the phone number for the company's fraud department, and it's on the back of your debit or credit card, and call for guidance. Yeah, if you get an email from a company that you do have business with or don't, either one, never click on those links, because there is a chance that it's a scammer. So you go specifically and directly to that company's website to get a number or to contact them over the web. Never respond to emails or by clicking on links. It's just a bad idea. These bad guys, this is what they do for a living, Murray said. They might send out tens of thousands of queries and only get one response, but that response could net them 10 grand from an unwitting victim. And sending out 10,000 is as easy as a click of a button. Not hard at all for them to do. $10,000 in one day for having one hit with one victim. That's pretty good return of investment, she said. And that's what motivates them. So yeah, there's a good possibility that your social security number is out there. So you might want to look at taking some of those precautions. Do two-factor authentication, change your passwords every 6 months or so. Never reply to emails, or never click on email links, and only reply to an email if you know who you're replying to. And even then, if they're asking for personal information, don't trust them, because no one that you care about and cares about you should be asking for that information. If they're asking for that, call them on the phone if you have their phone number. If it's your niece or daughter or son or nephew, and you already have them in your phone, call them directly and say, hey, I got this email. Did you really want this, or was it a scam? Pretty easy to do. Yeah, and like Reagan said about Khrushchev, trust but verify. But instead of trusting, just verify. That's the best idea. Anyway, that's what I've got for you on this one. If you like what I have to share, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.